So this man go give us a little rundown and lesson on the Doom 7 come to end. The Martinsville 7. 7 brothers got killed. I can't remember the exact details, but I believe it had something to do with a white woman. Most of the time when shit like this happens, it's usually either murder or a white woman involved. But it probably had something to do with somebody getting killed, and they just blamed all 7 of the guys, which is crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I think 2 of them look Spanish, I believe, anyways. I don't know, maybe I'm tripping. But anyways, man, how you kill 7 people based on one situation, first and foremost. And none of them was guilty, I don't think, honestly. But we'll understand and know once we watch this video. You will get this video here, guys. But yeah, like I said, I don't know what the details is, but just look at the picture. That shit deep. These was real people, y'all. They probably look like somebody's cousin or something, somebody's uncle. That one kind of looked like T.I. I say that one look a little Spanish right there. He might be Puerto Rican or something. You know what I'm saying? These people, I know they look like people y'all know probably. That'd be the fucked up thing about it. Like, that's just a good depiction of, like, black people right there. Like, different shades of black for real. But yeah, we finna dive into this, man. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments. Yes, sir. Join the Patreon, man. Stop playing with me. For real.
So this is a story that I did not know existed until yesterday. Let's talk about the dark legal history of the state of Virginia and the Martinsville 7. On January 8th, 1949, a 32-year-old white woman named Ruby Stroud Floyd entered a black neighborhood in Martinsville, Virginia. She was in the neighborhood to collect money for some clothes she had sold, but that's not important. By her account, she was going into the neighborhood and past railroad tracks. On those railroad tracks, she passed 4 black men. She says that when she got into the neighborhood, she was later assaulted by 13 black men, including the 4 men she had passed earlier. Word spread and the police quickly arrested 6 men, and by the morning, those 6 men had already signed confessions, implicating themselves and each other. All 6 men admitted to being present at the scene of the crime. A 7th member was also brought in and convicted. All 7 men were quickly indicted and the legal proceedings were very quick. The police state that this was because they didn't want the men to be succumbed to mob violence. Because as you can imagine, every white person in the surrounding areas wanted their heads. And here are the names and the ages of all 7 men. As you can notice, all of them were extremely young, except for Francis Grayson, who was 38. The 7 men, for some reason, were giving 7 different attorneys, and all the attorneys had different skill levels. And guess what? All 7 trials had 7 juries that were made up of all white men. During each of the trials, all of the defendants partially rejected the confessions that they made. In some instances, they said the police had written the confessions themselves. Sounds familiar. No trial lasted more than a day, no jury deliberation lasted more than 2 hours, and when it was all said and done, all 7 men were convicted and sentenced to death by electrocution. The appeals process was long and lengthy. Many civil rights organizations, including the NAACP, got involved, but no one wanted to hear it. The Supreme Court denied on 2 occasions to hear this case and attempt to overturn it. There was no fair trial. There was no fair due process for any of these men. They were coerced. And people started to point out the disproportionate proceedings of Virginia state's legal history. From 1908 to 1951, all 45 men put to death for sexual assaults were black men. The severity of punishment served to white men were cut in half. The appeals process by the NAACP did not work, and all 7 men were executed between February 2nd and February 5th, 1951. The reason I'm telling this story is because this week, the governor of Virginia pardoned the Martinsville 7, saying that the executions handed down were racially biased. 70 years later, before he was executed, one of the Martinsville 7 was quoted saying, "God knows I didn't touch that woman, but I'll see y'all on the other side."